Well, hello everybody and welcome back. This episode's going to be just a little different.
So today is the 31st of December 2025 and this episode marks our first full year of living and travelling on the road around this wonderful country of ours.
Yeah.
Something we talked about and planned for a long time before we finally stepped into.
Yeah. Well, for those who are new to our channel, Paul and I left Townsville in January 2025, and over the past year we've travelled through some incredible parts of Australia. We've met some wonderful people and we've experienced moments that we never want to forget. It's been a year of learning, adjusting, trying to slow down and being reminded how big and beautiful this country of ours really is.
So in this episode we're going to take you back and look through what that first year has been like for us, the highlights, a couple of lowlights here and there, the costs that have been involved, and we also want to look ahead as well.
So we'll spend a bit of time looking back, but also time sharing our plans and hopes for 2026 and what the road ahead is shaping up to look like for us. So thank you for being part of this journey with us. Whether you've been watching from the beginning or you're new here, let's rewind just a little and then look forward to our plans for 2026.
We left family and friends on the first day of 2025 and we immediately set off towards Geelong to catch the Spirit of Tasmania across the Bass Strait. We covered about 4,000 kilometres in that first leg of our journey, and we did this in a little bit over 4 weeks because our aim was to get to Tasmania straight away.
For such a small state, it is surprising how much you can see and how many kilometres you can drive. We towed the van 3,500 kilometres, which is the Red Wiki Camp lines, and drove the tow vehicle over 7,000 kilometres in total.
We have previously given a summary of our Tasmanian adventure, so you can look at that on a separate video if you like, and I'll put it in the link down below. We returned to the mainland and planned to travel to Cameron's Corner, which is where the three states meet, that is South Australia, New South Wales and Queensland. But there was rain and that closed the roads around the corner, including Birdsville and the Strzelecki track, so we decided to do the Darling River run instead. We started at the mouth where the Darling River flows into the Murray, and we made our way up to the source in the outback of northern New South Wales.
That was pretty special.
Really was a special trip.
Yeah.
From there we travelled into Queensland, and since we're only about 1,000 kilometres from home, we actually went home for a short break for 6 weeks to catch up with family and friends.
In Map 4, we then started the next leg, again intending to visit Birdsville, make our way to Cameron's Corner and onto the Strzelecki track into South Australia. We arrived in Boulia and again the weather forced a change of plans, and 1,200 kilometres later we were headed into the geographic centre of Australia and then across into South Australia.
I tell you what, plans change all the time.
Yeah,
you really have to be flexible on the road. That was one of the lessons we have learned. In South Australia, we went very remote around Mount Dare, which is the Mount Dare pub is the most remote pub in all of Australia, Dalhousie Springs, onto the Oodnadatta track, and then we headed south. We had 3 months in South Australia, covering inland areas such as the Flinders Ranges, much of the southern coast. So they're all in future episodes. We've stepped ahead into the future a bit now, and those episodes will be coming up over the next 2 months.
Make sure you stay tuned.
In summary for the year, the caravan has been towed 19,200 kilometres across 4 states and 1 territory, and the tow vehicle has driven 32,000 kilometres, and we've used 6,500 litres of diesel during the year.
So the total trip has cost us a whopping $64,400 for the year, or about $1,230 a week. That cost does not include any of our home expenses or YouTube expenses. So we're going to give you a further breakdown of these expenses a little bit later.
So now we're going to talk a little bit about some of our favourite locations we went to, some of our favourite experiences and things we've learned along the way. So we've each picked one out each. First off, what was your favourite low cost or free campsite? And then what was your favourite paid campsite?
Oh, this is a tough one, guys.
There were so many good ones.
But I would have to say that Neeliagari is the most beautiful camp spot by the Darling River. So the campsites are natural, they're secluded spots and with absolute river frontage. And so they're well apart from each other as well. So that would have to be my most favourite. Oh, it wasn't free. It was a low cost.
It was low cost. It was a station stay. I think it was only $15 a night. It was a really good price.
We'll have to check on that.
Such a beautiful location.
It was stunning. Had camp tables and chairs there as well. Had fireplace, cleaned fireplace.
Nice big fire pits. Yeah.
Oh, it was beautiful.
And if you go and collect your own timber, which which was really useful as well.
Loved it.
And favourite paid site?
Oh, look. That again is really tough, but I would have to say Beachport Caravan Park, or those little townships along the South Australian coastline are really beautiful. But Beachport in particular, because it had that gorgeous boardwalk all along the beachfront there, and it was just stunning. It really was.
Beachport Road, Kingston, all on that limestone coast, which is coming up in about 2 episodes' time, I might say. They were all beautiful locations.
Yeah, they were stunning.
Yeah. Okay, for me, I have to agree with Deb. It was really difficult choosing the favourite one. In particular, Tasmania had so many brilliant campsites. I was going to pick a campsite not in Tasmania, but I had to pick a Tasmanian one. And I'm going to go with Cockle Creek. There were so many good ones, but I'm going to go with Cockle Creek.
You did like Cockle Creek, didn't you?
I did. Look, it was the southernmost campsite that you can take a caravan to in all of Australia, and we loved it down there. The wildlife was just brilliant. We had the spotted quolls coming into camp, the little wallabies, watching the cormorants swim through the crystal clear water.
That was beautiful.
We just loved that area, and we're with good friends as well, so it was just, I've had to pick it as my favourite one, but look, it really was hard. Favourite paid campsite, I'm actually going to go for one on the York Peninsula in South Australia. So we stayed at the Port Lincoln Tourist Park.
Oh, yeah.
And in the unpowered section, it's $27 a night. But the unpowered section, I actually think had the best views. We're right down overlooking the bay, straight out towards Boston Island. And it was a glorious view, beautiful campsite. And the whole area was just wonderful explored. We, for reasons, we only stayed there 3 days. Could have easily stayed there a week or two. It was so nice.
We need to slow down.
We do. That's one of our lessons. Learn to slow down. Okay, next one. What was your worst campsite or location?
Probably the worst for me was a scary occasion, and that was at Lake Parangana in Tasmania. It was absolutely beautiful, Lake Parangana. Don't get me wrong, go there, guys. It's beautiful, but don't go on the weekends because you do have to deal with the roustabouts that come down and wreck the peace and tranquility of it all. So it was the worst occasion for me because I was literally afraid for us, because there was half a dozen vehicles that had come into the camping ground area and were tearing around and letting off firecrackers, not like fire, they were huge firecrackers.
Oh, loud explosions.
Screaming and anyway, that was pretty concerning.
I'll probably pick that as the same location, even though it was one of the beautiful locations we went to. It was spoilt by what occurred there. So remote camping can be a little bit concerning at times if people turn up that make you feel a little bit uncomfortable. It's happened a couple of times while we've been on our trips, but not very often. It was only Lake Parangana was the only time where we were more concerned. And that was mainly because we thought the fireworks were firearms. The lake is in a valley. The sound of the fireworks was ricocheting up and down the valley, or echoing, and it sounded like ricocheting. That we were terrified until we realised it was fireworks.
A noise file in so you actually hear what the noise was like.
Might put a little bit of it in.
Yeah. So, what was your favourite low-cost experience?
Look, once again, there are many, particularly some of the walks we have done. But I'm actually going to choose making it to the geographic centre of Australia.
You did like that.
I did. It was one of our sort of bucket list things we wanted to do, was get to the dead centre of Australia.
Mostly him.
Yeah, mostly me. And making it there was quite an achievement. Towing the van in there, we didn't just drive there. We took the van and camped in there. So I think that was my favourite free thing to do. What about you?
Oh, look, definitely the many different walks that we did in Tassie, especially the Cradle Mountain walk. That was absolutely beautiful.
They are stunning.
Thoroughly enjoyed that.
Yeah. Many of the Tasmanian
We keep on
walks.
bouncing back to Tasmania. Maybe we should go there and have another
I reckon we'll go
holiday
back
there.
one day. That's how good it was. What was your favourite paid experience?
Oh, my most favourite paid I would have to say, well, if I was going to go back to Tasmania, it would be the World Heritage Red Boat Tour. That was stunning. It was absolutely beautiful. But more recently, the Coffin Bay Oyster Tour, that was just next level. It was really, really beautiful. The weather was perfect, and look, I thoroughly enjoyed that.
Look,
Oysters were a feast.
Yeah,
A
I really
dozen
enjoyed the
a dozen oysters
a
each.
dozen. Yeah, no, I really enjoyed the Coffin Bay oyster experience as well. It was wonderful just floating around out there in the ocean. You could swim if you want to. They gave you a choice of wearing waders or you could just go in your bathers. I chose not to wear the waders because I thought you looked more like a seal if a great white pointer was to come along.
And they have actually seen them out there, apparently. The water was, well, obviously the tide was probably out a little bit, so it was, waist high.
He did say they haven't seen them near the oyster beds, but they have seen them in the bay, the great white pointers. Anyway, so I swam there. It was beautiful. But look, my choice would be also the Red Boat in Tasmania, the World Heritage Tour.
Yeah.
It was just, I so much enjoyed it.
Yeah,
it was
I
well
agree.
worth it.
Yeah. So, what surprised you about life on the road? The best and the worst, or the hardest parts?
I guess, I obviously expected that I would enjoy this journey, otherwise we wouldn't go on it. And I knew it would be fun. But I think it was even better than I've expected it to be. And I know some people say, some of the hard parts to it, they didn't expect that. But I haven't found very many hard parts. I mean, we're living in a van 24/7 in each other's space all the time. In a van that is smaller than the main bedroom back in our house. And yet we haven't killed each other, so
Well, we're still here.
we're still here. And look,
And we can still laugh.
yeah, look, it has been fantastic. There have been, very few times where I've grabbed the big camera lens and gone out by myself just to have a bit of free time. I'm sure.
The way he picked up that big camera lens, that looked like he was picking up a firearm then.
No, look, I've thoroughly enjoyed it. There have not been hard times. I think it has been better than I expected it to be. So what about you?
Oh, look, I miss family, as you know. Particularly kids and grandkids. Paul and I have got 13 grandchildren back home in Townsville, with the 14th one on the way. So blended families, but they are very, very special to us, and I do miss that connection with family.
Yeah.
But we do have FaceTime, which is great, and my little 3-year-old granddaughter Adeline enjoys chatting with Nonna on FaceTime.
Look, that is the hardest part, is missing family and friends. That is very true.
So what have you learned about travel, the flexibility, and about us?
Well, about us, I've learned that we can actually survive very well together 24/7, and we haven't run out of things to talk about.
We haven't.
Sometimes you think you're going to be with each other entirely. We know each other so well, what are we going to talk about? But we haven't run out of things to talk about. I think the lesson I've learned from the first year is the need to slow down. I don't know I don't know what it is, but we just keep moving fairly quickly. I've looked at our statistics for how far we've travelled and how many days we've spent at each place. On average, we stay at each campsite 2.5 days. So we are continually on the move. Now, of course, many of them are just overnight stops where you're just getting from one place to the other. You have an overnight stop along the way. So that's to be expected. But our longest stay anywhere is 5 days. And we've only done that on 3 or 4 occasions. Unusual, when it's not an overnight stop, we're 3, sometimes 4 days. I think we just need to slow down and spend a week or even 2 weeks.
I am actually really glad that we've got this recorded because I'm going to remind him of this in 2026 because he's going to forget. Next spot, next spot, next spot.
Well, what about you? Do you agree? Or do you have your own your own lessons that you've learned?
Well, look, I would have to agree. We need to slow down. We need to spend more than 2 or 3 nights in any one place. So I'm glad that you and I both agree on that now.
Watch this space. Okay, what worked well for you and what didn't?
Well, this is not just a holiday van, I guess you could say. It's our home, and it's going to be our home for 2 years. So our van home is, as Paul said, it's not even half the size of our bedroom back home. So I find the small space works well enough, but I do like to have some alone time, I guess. Like every girl loves to go shopping. What girl doesn't enjoy shopping?
Of course. So
window shopping. So what works well? I like pulling into those little townships and having a wander around in the shops and just And I don't mind doing that on my own because if Paul was with me, he'd be wandering around looking very, very bored. So I usually like to do those sorts of things on my own.
Yeah. It's true. I mean, you hate it when I drive through a small town. We'll be driving through and you go, oh, this looks really nice. Can we stop? And I'll be going, we've already planned the next stop.
He does. It's really frustrating. Really frustrating.
Okay, so we've got to learn to stop at the little towns on the way through.
Well, just to carry on from that, so window shopping is a great source of pleasure for me. However, that can be a bit problematic as I do still struggle with the weight adjustment in the van or the weight restrictions.
Yeah, you can't just go and buy some. You can't go and buy some little thing.
Usually whizzes by those little townships that I want to go and explore.
It's true, I am the weight Nazi, but we are living on the edge of our weight, so I have to be.
Yeah.
What's worked well for me? Well, I think using Wikicams to pick our sites, like and our points of interest and things like that. That's worked really well for us. Like we do very little forward planning. I've got the next couple of campsites picked out because we're headed across the Nullarbor Plains now. But usually I don't have the next campsite picked out until we hop in the car ready to move, or where are we going to go now? And we're looking up Wikicams. I mean, we don't plan ahead very much. So Wikicams is our resource for just doing things on the fly. And even when we get there, it's to a location, it's Wikicams and Google, all right, where are we going to go and see now? Or the information centres, they're a great.
I'm sure most travellers, full-time travellers, do the same sort of thing.
We don't plan much, so that works well for me. What is the worst road we've had to travel on?
Well, the worst road would have to be Mount Dare to Dalhousie Springs. Yeah? You'd have to agree.
Well, I'm actually going to say the worst road is the Bruce Highway on the north side of Gympie.
What?
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That's the second worst road in Australia. I agree. Mount Dare to Dalhousie Springs
it was rotten.
Was a horror. We did 800 kilometres of dirt road in this stint from the Geographic Centre of Australia through to Coober Pedy, I think it was.
Yeah.
But that section there, in total, probably about 100k or a bit more, was horrible. Just the corrugation and the gibber stones was so bad.
We've met some wonderful people along the way, and we've enjoyed travelling with fellow zoners, Rob and Carolyn, who are just like family to us now.
I love those guys.
And meeting new friends who follow our channel, as well as fellow YouTubers.
Yeah, like Martin and Wendy in Tasmania, you know, they invited us, they followed our channel.
Hi guys.
Hey guys. They invited us to their place, and you know, we're now lifelong friends. We caught up with them in Townsville and camped with them up there as well. And we plan to meet with them again next year sometime as well. So for the next part, we'll give you a bit of a breakdown of our budget expenses for the year, where we spent our $65,000 for the year.
Well, to begin with, the camping locations, those camping costs were $4,760 for the year. Even though 41% of our camping was free camps, we did stay 42 nights in caravan parks, which accounted for $2,500 in cost at an average of $35 per night. So paid camping cost us $1,200, low cost or donation camping was $500, and station stays $550. We've found very little free camping available along the southern coastline of South Australia, around those popular beach sites.
We spent a little over $12,100 on fuel.
$1,200 would have been.
Yeah, that would have been, which is about what we expected. We did drive 32,000 kilometres for the year. Our dearest fuel was in the most remote parts, as you would expect. $3 a litre at Mount Dare and at Oodnadatta.
You can view the other expenses here on the screen. Just hit the pause button if you want to read them. The groceries was our most expensive item at $13,300 for the year. And that does include your typical household type items such as your washing detergents, etc.
Oh, it's just ridiculous how much things are costing.
It's crazy expensive.
Meat is just, I think they want us to be vegetarians. Tourist activities, that accounted for $5,500, but that did include the cost of taking our car and van over to Tassie, which is $2,400, and then caravan and tow vehicle costs, which includes insurance, registration and services and repairs as well. So that's the budget. So looking ahead to 2026, our hearts and our compass are pointing west.
So Paul and I plan to spend much of the coming year exploring Western Australia. So we plan to take our time and just travel slowly and really soak in the vastness, the beauty and the diversity of that part of the country.
Tomorrow, on the 1st of January, we'll be crossing the border into Western Australia at Checkpoint Charlie.
Yay!
So we do need to get rid of fruit and veggie before then. Unfortunately, we do need to travel faster than we would like to for the next 10 days, and that's because I have a medical appointment in Albany, so we need to be there for that. However, we plan to spend a few months in those southern areas of Western Australia during summer, visiting beach areas, wineries, those southern nature drives, and various national parks.
Yeah. So as the season moves into autumn, we'll travel up Western Australia coast just to see some of those coastal locations, including Exmouth and Broome. We'll also head inland to Kalgoorlie and then further north to explore various gorges such as Karajini National Park, Tom Price and likely the Gibb River Road, or a part of the Gibb River Road. I still have bad memories of Dalhousie Road.
I think Dalhousie Road trip has scared them off the Gibb a little bit. Look, Western Australia is just such a big state, and we'll likely stay in the WA for at least 6 to 7 months before crossing the border into the Northern Territory, having a look around there, and arriving back home in Townsville around the end of 2026. So that'll be our year. Once getting back home in 2026, we'll then decide whether we're going to do a third year of travel in 2027. So that's an unknown at this stage, but I don't know, it's looking like it. We're enjoying travel, so
yeah, we are.
We'll see.
Whether it's we take a few months downtime in Townsville and then head off again for another 6 months. That remains to be seen. But we'll see what this 2026 brings us.
Yep, and as Deb said previously, missing friends and family is the hard part, so there might be a flight home at some stage as well.
I think so.
As we move into 2026, what is the one thing that we should do differently next year? What did we learn from our first year?
Well, I think definitely to slow down and stay longer in certain regions.
Yep, I think so too. That's the big take home from our first year, is learning to slow down, and we just need to stay longer in places and really soak it up and enjoy it.
Well, now that we've found our way, you know, and we're happy to just go where the wind takes us most times. So,
I think we'll be able to do that. I'm looking forward to more campfires, but we're under fire ban, and I think Western Australia is as well until April. So bring on the end of the fire ban on. I'm looking forward to some more campfires.
Yeah, same.
Name one or two things you're genuinely looking forward to next year.
Genuinely looking forward to? Well, I'm really enjoying songwriting, so I guess the title of my new song is New Horizons. So I'm going to be focused on putting some words down for that new song of mine.
Yeah, okay. Well, see, as we slow down, you'll have more time to do that.
Exactly.
I think I'm just looking forward to continuing the journey together. We've just had such a wonderful year together. I'm looking forward to another good year together.
Definitely. So as we come to the end of this episode, guys, it feels really special to pause and just reflect on how much this past year on the road has meant to us.
Yeah, it hasn't always been easy. There's been a few difficult parts here and there, but not very many. But it's been deeply rewarding, full of lessons, perspective, and moments that have reminded us that there is much to be grateful for in this season of our life, in this season of travel.
That's very true. So, well, we're looking forward to the final state in Australia that we are yet to visit. So, from long open roads and remote coastlines to quiet country towns and communities along the way, we're looking forward to discovering new places. So thank you to everyone who's travelled along with us this past year. Your encouragement and your comments and your support mean the world to us. So thank you.
Yes, thanks, guys. However, if you have any favourite spots in Western Australia or places you think we shouldn't miss, we'd love to hear from you. So drop a comment down and let us know what's a nice spot. Make sure you don't miss that when you're in Western Australia.
So as our journey continues westward in 2026, we look forward to taking you along with us. So until next time, safe travels, everyone.
Safe travels.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everyone. See you later.